Previously on NotEnoughTECH.
What did I do?
I blew up
How can I fix it?
Hey guys, it is finally here. Again. Why again? Because, well, when I was playing with it initially, I fried mine. And even though I managed to complete the review, I had to wait until I gonna get a replacement one from Sonoff so I could continue with this video, which is about putting a Tasmota on Sonoff DualR3. Now, this isn't as simple as with other Sonoff devices. Moving forward, I have an insider information from my tier. They're gonna stick with ESP32, which means, well, it's a little bit more complicated. Thankfully, everything works, and I'll show you how to flash Tasmota on Sonoff DualR3. Because right now there is no DIY mode, and I'm not aware of any plans for it, the only way we can actually flash this, but it's by opening the device and using soldering iron. Now, thankfully, I've got recently upgraded to TS80p, so that was fairly painless, and it took only a couple of moments to solder required pins to the board. So a small tip for you guys: when you're opening the device, my device had a bit of glue around each latch, so you might be very gentle not to break it. It's still quite easy to open, but just pay extra attention around the latches. Now the dev pads are exposed, and you'll have to use the usual mapping, so 3.3 volts for the VCC, ground to ground, and RX to TX and TX to RX. Now, thankfully, GPIO00 is linked to the physical button on Sonoff DualR3, so to put it into flash mode, you'll have to just press the button down and power cycle the device. Now, before you start doing any flashing, etc., do not power it via mains. You don't have to, it's dangerous, and you can complete the flash powering it via FTD Flasher. Now that you've got the soldering complete, we have to take a closer look at the toolchain because that's gonna change as well. Tasmota isn't working with ESP32 right now. I hope the support's gonna come rolling up soon, but I have another tool for you which I found thanks to a GitHub discussion. This is ESP Flasher, and I'm gonna include all the links in my article, so if you want the links, just head to the article and you'll find everything that I'm gonna list in this video. Using ESP Flasher is straightforward. However, myself, I had some problems with detecting COM ports, so I had to install again the driver for FTD1232. This is the serial adapter I'm using. So if you don't have ports visible, you might consider installing the driver as well. Now let's talk about firmware. The stock Tasmota for ESP32, the development or beta version, it won't work with Sonoff DualR3. You have to recompile your own version of it that supports all the features that this little device has to offer. That's including special mappings and obviously the power metering. Now that's been mostly resolved, but it's not implemented yet in the development version of Tasmota for ESP32. So I've compiled it for you, and you can download correct firmware from my website. This way you won't have to recompile your own binaries in VS Code or similar. Once you've got everything ready, just hold down the button of your device, repower it to enter it in a flash mode, and you can start the process. When it succeeds, it's business as usual. Find SSID starting with Tasmota. That's going to be your new device waiting to be configured. Connect to the SSID and enter the gateway IP, which is 192.168.4.1. You'll be greeted with an interface allowing you to configure the Wi-Fi. Add it to your network, and you can use either Think Desktop or similar app to find the device on your local network. Navigate to configuration, then configure order, and paste the template I've included on my website. This is the correct template to map all the inputs and outputs of Sonoff DualR3. Save your changes and wait for the device to reboot. If everything went alright, you should see two switches and the power information for both of them available in Tasmota interface. Tasmota for ESP32 works quite well actually. The updates are quite swift, and you can still use the same protocols for connectivity, so MQTT, REST, etc. So if you're interested in that, I already have a tutorial which I'm going to link in here. Obviously, there is a couple of features that are missing that are available in eWeLink app. So if you're interested in Alexa integration or Google Home integration, in the article I will link my tutorials for this as well. And of course, if you want to log how much power your devices are using, I could also recommend Grafana and InfluxDB as the way of doing so. As it happened, I also have a tutorial for you, so I'm going to link it in the description. Moving forward, we're going to expect more ESP32 devices from ITED. This means that available toolchain will have to improve a little bit to make it more accessible and quicker. Personally, I'd love to see Tasmota being available for ESP32 as well, so the flashing process would be as simple as flashing the good old ESP8266 based devices. Do let me know if everything went okay or if you had any problems. Now, if you need any of that information, obviously link in the description to article where you can all take it at your own pace. As for now, guys, I do not have a posting schedule, but I've got exciting things coming, so, well, you know how YouTube works, I don't have to explain this. But if you follow me on social media, you're gonna receive notifications and updates whenever I post new content and whenever I work on something cool. So, thanks so much for watching, I hope everything worked well for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye!